denigrated the president with those claims of birtherism.
But part of that is starting off with Snoop Dogg, and
the connection between Donald Trump and black celebrities has long been a controversial topic, often raising questions about their loyalty, motivations, and the broader impact of their actions. One of the most perplexing dynamics to many is how Trump, a figure known for his divisive rhetoric and actions, manages to secure the support of prominent black figures. It seems as though, for Trump, simply taking a photo with a celebrity is enough to convince some people that he cares about black communities. This idea is made all the more baffling by the fact that Trump's history with black people is far from supportive, especially considering his infamous birtherism claims about President Obama. To many, it's clear that if Trump truly cared about black people, his actions and his rhetoric would look a lot different. Yet there's been a consistent pattern of black celebrities aligning themselves with Trump, particularly those in the music industry. One of the most notable incidents was during Trump's inauguration in 2017, when several high-profile rappers, including Snoop Dogg and Nelly and Soulja Boy, performed at events surrounding the occasion. The optics of these performances were jarring for many in the black community, especially given Trump's history of divisive behavior. For many, it was hard to reconcile how artists who had previously criticized Trump would now show up to perform at his events. What was the motive? Was it all just about business, or was there something deeper at play? Fast forward to the present, and Snoop Dogg in particular finds himself in the spotlight once again. Recently, he made headlines for performing at another event connected to Donald Trump, leading to widespread criticism from fans and fellow artists alike. The irony was impossible to ignore. After all, it wasn't long ago that Snoop Dogg had roasted other black artists for performing at Trump's inauguration. In fact, he had posted a video in 2017 where he mocked those artists, calling them Uncle Toms, for agreeing to perform for a man who had publicly denigrated the black community. Now, years later, Snoop was taking the stage at a Trump event, and fans were quick to point out the contradiction. dlhughley, the renowned comedian and social commentator, was among the loudest voices calling out Snoop. In a move that many saw as an act of exposure, DL reposted Snoop's 2017 clip, where he mocked black artists for performing at Trump's inauguration, alongside a recent video of Snoop performing for Trump. DL didn't mince words, calling out Snoop for his apparent hypocrisy and questioning his loyalty. For DL, this wasn't just about one individual's actions. It was about a broader issue within the entertainment industry and the way it interacts with power. The backlash against Snoop Dogg was swift, with many fans accusing him of selling out or playing both sides of the fence. Some even went as far as to label him an industry buster, pointing to his past actions and questioning whether his allegiance to Tupac Shakur, whom he once claimed to be loyal to, was ever truly genuine. Others pointed to the history of Snoop's relationships in the industry, including the long-standing rumors about his connections to figures like Suge Knight. For some, it felt like Snoop was no longer the revolutionary figure he once was, but rather another pawn in a larger political game. Suge Knight, the infamous former CEO of Death Row Records, didn't help matters by adding fuel to the fire. In recent statements, Suge has made it clear that he believes Snoop Dogg isn't as loyal to Tupac as he once claimed to be. Suge has even gone as far as to accuse Snoop of playing both sides, suggesting that he may have betrayed Tupac in the past. For many, Suge's words further compounded the suspicion surrounding Snoop's recent actions. Was he truly committed to the culture and the community, or was he simply playing a dangerous game in order to secure his position in the industry? The situation only became more complicated when Suge Knight threatened Snoop Dogg with even more damning revelations. He accused Snoop of lying about his actions following Tupac's shooting, particularly regarding a supposed hospital visit to see the late rapper. According to Suge, Snoop never even showed up at the hospital, despite previously claiming that he had been kicked out while trying to visit Pac. These accusations, whether true or not, have added an extra layer of intrigue to the ongoing narrative surrounding Snoop Dogg's loyalties. Meanwhile, Snoop's recent actions have raised even more questions about his intentions. While it's true that performing for a sitting president is often seen as a sign of respect, the specific context of Trump's presidency complicates things. Trump's fan base, which has been associated with racist and supremacist ideologies, is hardly the demographic that would typically embrace rap music or hip-hop culture. So why would Snoop, Nelly, and Rick Ross take the stage at Trump's event? Was it about the money, or was it a strategic move to remain relevant in an increasingly polarized entertainment industry? Nelly, in particular, defended his decision to perform, claiming that he wasn't doing it for the money, but out of respect for the office of the president. He even went so far as to say that he would have performed for President Biden or Vice President Kamala Harris if they had asked. In his mind, it wasn't about Trump himself, it was about honoring the role of the presidency. However, this explanation did little to quell the backlash. Many questioned why Nelly felt the need to perform at Trump's event in the first place, especially given the president's history of divisive rhetoric and policies. In response to the growing backlash, dlhughley weighed in with a theory of his own. According to DL, the reason these artists agreed to perform at Trump's event wasn't about politics or personal beliefs, it was about power. He argued that Trump's team had strategically chosen performers who wouldn't alienate white voters, using them as pawns in a larger game of optics. He also pointed out the glaring absence of black faces in the audience, suggesting that these rappers were being used to create a narrative that would make Trump appear more inclusive, despite his actions to the contrary. But perhaps the most telling aspect of the situation is how Trump's team chose Snoop Dogg, someone whose involvement in the event would undoubtedly generate headlines. Unlike rappers like Waka Flocka, Kodak Black, or Lil Pump, who had previously performed for Trump in a more controversial, attention-grabbing way, Snoop represented something different. He was an established icon in the hip-hop community, and his participation in the event sent a message that Trump was able to make even the most outspoken critics of his administration change sides. In many ways, this move was a flex on Trump's part, showing that even someone as influential as Snoop Dogg could be swayed to play on his team. The internet wasted no time in pointing out the hypocrisy and contradictions in Snoop's actions. Memes and social media posts flooded the web, with users accusing Snoop of selling out and betraying his roots. One user even invoked DMX's famous line about selling one's soul to the devil, suggesting that Snoop had done just that. Another person commented on how Snoop's newfound prominence in commercials and other mainstream ventures was a sign that he had gone Hollywood and was now playing the game in a way that wasn't true to his original values. Despite these critiques, Snoop's career continues to thrive, and he remains one of the most beloved figures in hip-hop. However, the controversy surrounding his political affiliations and the choices he's made in recent years has caused a rift between him and some of his former fans. It's clear that no amount of success or money can erase the history of his actions, and as time goes on, the public will continue to scrutinize his every move. So what do we make of this situation? Did Snoop, Nelly, and Rick Ross make a mistake by performing at Trump's event, or was it simply a business decision that shouldn't be judged too harshly? And what does this all mean for Snoop Dogg's legacy in hip-hop? Is he playing both sides, or is he just trying to stay relevant in an industry that's constantly evolving? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the conversation surrounding Snoop Dogg's actions is far from over, and the internet isn't letting him off the hook anytime soon. At the end of the day, it's clear that the line between business and politics is increasingly blurred, and for many artists, staying true to their roots while also navigating the complex world of celebrity can be a difficult balancing act. Whether or not Snoop Dogg has betrayed his fans remains to be seen, but what's undeniable is that the world is watching, and people aren't likely to forget the choices he's made anytime soon.